Hello there, it's Bernardo here. On today's video, I'm going to be talking about a subject that I've been meaning to make a video about for a little bit here on the channel. It's something that I reflect a lot about whenever I'm on my phone, on social media, or whatever it may be. And it's a subject that I was actually discussing with a good buddy of mine the other day. I feel like not enough people talk about this, and it's about the word influencer, or how we use the word influencer in today's world, in today's society. And I think that the current use that we attribute to the word influencer is very dangerous, and I think it could be very prejudicial to society as a whole. It's a strong word, and we'll get into it. And I think it's been um, not used properly over the last few years, with, of course, the growth of social media, and the growth of content creators. And I guess the best way to start is with the dictionary definition of influencer. And I got it here. I'm going to read it, so that this is going to be the basis of my argument here. So the word influencer means a person who can persuade or affect the opinions, decisions, or actions of others. That's very deep. I'll read that again. A person who can persuade or affect the opinions, decisions, or actions of others. That's very serious. I think in today's world, we're just throwing the influencer around to anyone who puts a camera and films themselves and talks about whatever it may be. And as we can see here, an influencer should be somebody who persuades you to take actions, to somebody who persuades you to change your opinion on something, or somebody who helps shape your opinion of something. And that's very serious. I think that it's too shallow to just call anyone who posts videos online an influencer. An influencer should be somebody who brings actual value into your life. And the word influencer itself comes from Latin influere, which means to flow into. So, whatever this person is flowing into your life has to be valuable. Otherwise, they're just occupying your time instead of influencing you. They're just occupying you. I think that that's very, very serious. I catch myself scrolling sometimes, and now we live in the era of doom scrolling, and sometimes I catch myself thinking, like, wait, is this person just occupying me, or are they actually adding any sort of value into my life right now? And I think most of us, after we finish doom scrolling, we feel bad because we know we just had our time stolen from us, from people who didn't actually earn it. I think influence has to be earned. I think in today's world, we give a lot of people with no credibility, with nothing to show for, too much credit without them actually having earned it. You see a lot of people sitting in the living room talking about mental health, or giving life advice without ever studying it. You got people telling you how to build a business, or how to be an entrepreneur without actually having ever doing it or ever attempting it. People giving financial literacy advice when their life is in shambles themselves. So we live in a world of a lot of deceiving things that we may see online, and a lot of people who are just trying to get a click and steal your attention, without having any credibility to earn that time that you're willingly giving them on the screen, or wherever you're watching them at. So I think that that's a very serious problem that we face in today's world. And I think us as a whole, we've just become these passive consumers of noise. We don't consume real value. We don't consume real information. We don't consume real influence. We just consume noise. And it's been very normalized in today's world, and that's extremely, extremely problematic, because now most of us, I think a lot of people on the internet, have become unable to distinguish what's real from what's not real, what's a facade from what's really going to improve their lives. I think when you're watching somebody who's a real influencer, somebody who's really, really driving change into your life, you catch yourself reflecting. You catch your brain actually functioning. When you're watching that video, you're thinking about things, you're making points to yourself, you're really analyzing what they're saying, and that's driving positive change in your life. So I think what we need to do is to have better discernment of what we're watching, and be very considerate of our time. I think time is the most important commodity in the world, and in life, that you can have, and we're just giving away so freely and so easily these days to people, or to things and distractions, that weren't really aren't really worth our time, aren't really worth something that's so valuable that we could be doing to be building, um, building things, building businesses, improving ourselves, and we're just wasting it on glorified distraction that's, mistakenly named influence these days. So I think we just have to do better at that. It's something that I hold myself accountable to, because of course, I'm a 20 something year old man, and I'm all, of course, always online and looking at things, but I try to do good at just selecting what I'm watching, selecting what I'm letting into my ears. What is really influencing me? Is this driving me to be better? Is this driving me to um, improve, whether it's as a businessman, as a man, um, as a man of faith. It's just these things that you're supposed to, I think, instead of being passive consumers of influence, become active consumers of influence, because then you'll know how to discern between what's fake and what's real influence. I think that that's something that's super important. So I really do think that there has to be a repurposing of the word influencer in today's society. I think that, as I just listed all, I think, the qualities that an influencer should have, and I don't think that somebody who's, and nothing against these people, by the way, somebody who's making videos about, I don't know, fashion, or whatever, maybe dancing in front of the camera, or doing things that aren't really influencing you to take action towards something. I don't think they should be called influencers. They should be called content creators or entertainers, because they're not really influencing you positively to take action towards something. I think influence generates action, and if they're not causing that action, then I don't think they should be called influencers. It should be either content creator or entertainer. But that's just my 2 cents about it. And I think for anybody building a brand, a business, or a movement, you have to become the kind of person who is worthy of influencing others. I think instead of chasing clout, people have to chase purpose, chase impact. Let whatever it is that you're doing actually carry weight to it. Carry real content to it, and be somebody who's willing to add value, not just add pointless distractions for others. I do think that that would bring such positive changes to the world, and make people um, want to be better, and do better in their lives and their careers, whatever it may be, make them want to improve themselves, and actually be people who output value into the world. They're receiving value, and they also want to give that value out to others. I think you create a much more dynamic, much more prosperous, and a lot better community. But again, that's just my 2 cents about it. I think the word influencer should be taken more seriously, and should definitely be reconsidered and repurposed in society. um, you know I, that's just my thoughts. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you think I'm right, if you think I'm wrong, I'm always open to debate. So yeah, we'll see you on the next one, and always forward.